I even remember when I was 14 years old, I played a match, and I was the only girl in a boys' team playing against boys, so the only girl on the field. First half, I scored 3 goals. It's a hat trick. It's 3-0, and a father from the other team comes up to me, he looks at me and he's like, "Are you a girl? Because they say that you're a girl. I don't believe that. Pull down your pants and show it to me." And when you're 14 and things like that happen to you, that makes you very insecure. You can always be more than you think or than society thinks of you. I always say your expectation level of yourself must be sky is the limit. Even if you will not become a professional football player, by having this mindset, it will bring you further in life than thinking, I can't do this. Even when other people tell you you can't do this, just know that you can. So that's my first message. Another message is, if you're different from anybody else, your difference is your strength. Being different is your power. I was always the different girl that got bullied when I was younger. Don't get me wrong, I was a very tough girl, so if you bully me, you would feel the consequences. But it wasn't nice. But your difference is your beauty, and that's something that I always tell young people, and especially believe in yourself. It's a cliche, but it's so important.
How did you decide to take on football in the first place?
So I think I grew up with football. So my father used to play football at our local club. He was like a local hero, one of the best players of the team. So he infected me with football. My brother used to play football as well. And I used to play handball, so I used to put it on my hand. But the small ball, I always used it to learn skills and the technical things, and that's more hard with a smaller ball. So when I started playing with a bigger ball, I felt like, hey, I'm actually good at it. Actually have a lot of talent for this, and it's always nice to be good at something. So that's why I really fell in love with football, because it gave me the freedom to work on my creativity. And of course, my father just really took me everywhere when he was playing football. So that's why I fell in love. It was very popular to play football in the neighborhood, at school, for boys, not necessarily for girls. So I was different from most of the girls in my neighborhood at my school. And when I was younger, I didn't really feel it like that. But when you become a teenager and you go to high school, people are telling you things like, you can't play, or are you a boy, are you a girl? That made me very insecure.
What was it that made you come up with the Favela Street Foundation idea?
Also, it was very random. And then I went into the favela in the slums, and I really felt for the very first time the strength and power of football. Because there, where people deal on a daily basis with poverty and violence, if we step on the court, if we play football, we can forget the world around us. And even if we don't speak the same language, we speak the language of football. And that's what I've learned when I was 18. And that's where, like I always say, like a little seed got planted in my heart. And I knew, like, I want to go back to Rio, Brazil, and start a football project for girls. It took me 10 years, but I eventually did it.
AntetokounBros Academy here is also a project that is inspired by the AntetokounBros brothers, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's about children who come from vulnerable social groups, and they want to have opportunities that maybe in other ways they can't have them. And so it's an opportunity to do what they love and pursue their dreams, follow their dreams. So in some essence, I think it has many similarities with the foundation.
Yeah, no, there are many similarities, because it's about the body and the mind within the academy. That's the same with Favela Street. The things that you learn on the pitch or on the court are also usable off the court. It's about personal development. I always say football to me is just a tool. It's an instrument, and we really want to focus on your personal development and make you believe that you are somebody and that you can do something, especially the kids that you work with or that the project works with here, that Favela Street works with. They are all children who cope with extreme social exclusion, not the best opportunities in education or in work. And by giving them a more positive, or letting them develop and create a positive mindset that is going to bring them more further in life, that is very similar to what we're doing in Favela Street. Only difference is the game, the sport.
And the ball.
Yeah, the ball and the court.
Yeah. I mean, all this project, as we said, it's inspired by Yannis Antetokounmpo,
Yeah.
who also started off having to face many obstacles in everyday life, but he overcame all these to go from playing in these neighborhoods to becoming the NBA MVP.
Yeah.
What do you think of this story, of his story?
That story is amazing, and it's not even him only, it's the whole family. It's like, I don't know, they just grew with the basketball in their hand. I don't know, grew up with that or born with that. For me, I think that's not, he is also from a cultural diverse background. He is from a disadvantaged area. He's a success story where many young kids can just look up to, like, whoa, sky is the limit. Not necessarily to be in the NBA, but just to be, hey, I can be what I want to be, you know? And that's, his inspiration goes way more further than just being a basketball hero, I think. And what I find very special is that he is in his active career, professional career, and he finds it important to do these things. That is a big compliment from my side to him, is that most, and that's okay, professional athletes are focused on their own career, which is, like I said, it's okay. But he's giving back to the community already, and that's a big thing.
How hard would you say is it for young children to find motivation and build on their talents, especially when they deal with other everyday life problems? How do you think that we can help them, or their mentors can help them?
So these young children grow up in environments where they get a lot of negative projections on them. It can be at home, where their home is not safe. It can be in the streets in their neighborhood. So what you're providing is a safe space right here on this court where they can play sports, but you also provide them with coaches and mentors that project positive influences on the kids, that give them the feeling like, hey, like I already said, I am somebody and I can do something. They really need more of these positive influences in their life, and I think that is the biggest influence that you can have, is that even though maybe they get home in a more not safe environment, you can create somewhere where they can come and really be themselves and feel loved.
I would like your view on another current topic that affects many children in Europe, especially in Greece nowadays. It's about children that come from a different culture, of different color or religion, that they face many challenges blending in and feeling accepted. And sports, I think, can be a way out, but what can we do so that this is the rule and not the exception?
Yeah, I think that it's important that we do this in a grassroots level, on a level in the streets, but politics, government bodies needs to realize that we need to meet each other in the middle, because we can do all of our best and whatever we can on a grassroots level, but at certain point we try to connect and build bridges within society. So if a school doesn't accept this young boy or girl from a different place, then how can we move forward? So I think that's very important.
Yeah, we said before that football and basketball, they are different, but they're very similar as well in many aspects, especially when it comes to girls who want to pursue a career in a man-dominated sport.
Yeah.
What are the challenges that, from your experience, that girls face in these situations?
No, I think that what's very important is facilities. So if we have a girls team, they should be allowed to use the same facilities as the boys team. I mean, I know that here in Greece, girls football, women's football is something that really needs to make a lot of miles to develop. I know that they're starting. but that's the thing. Get respect from the establishment and get some female representation in this establishment. There are still some negative changes. If you look in the political environment worldwide, we're shifting to the right. I don't have to call out some names as the Brazilian president, the United States president, the way they talk about women. That is still, then we are still taking a lot of steps back as well. So I am happy that we still have the Me Too movement. We have the International Women's Day. The women's marches are getting bigger. We are having more attention for this equality. But there's still a lot of miles to make. In my programs as well, it's really important to mix the boys and the girls, not necessarily to compete to each other, but to give the boys the mindset like, hey, like these boys see the girls play, they see the female coaches, they're like, oh, okay, they're not only here to do the laundry and to fix my dinner. No, they can actually play sports, you know, so you need guys to be involved. It doesn't need to be like, it's only us girls and you cannot play. It's just special focus for the girls and change the mindset with the men as well.